Alright, let me just post this shit on my story real quick and then we get on the show, on the road. Alright, we go live. I posted on my story. Got everything situated. So we live. Shit. Get to it. Shit. What's good, everybody? Thank y'all for tuning in. Tuning in with Manny and I last week. We did take a break week. Not too much was going on, so we decided to take a break. But this week, of course, the chapter did drop, and we're just going to dive in and break it down and go over some stuff we noticed. So the first thing we noticed, I found this out like today, like 20 minutes earlier. There's no cover story. There's no cover story for the chapter. You do know that Oda was putting in like cover story, some lore. But there's none of that today.
The whole Jerma 66, everything that was going on in Whole Cake while the Straw Hats were in Onigashima.
Yeah.
Pudding and then everyone getting captured. Pudding getting captured. Kuzan basically wiping out everyone. And then this week, there's no cover story. So I'm thinking we are done with the cover story, or at least this one, and then he's gonna come back and do another one in the coming weeks.
Yeah, what do you think? You think it's gonna pick back up, or is it gonna be something different, or what do you think is gonna happen?
For now, I really like the route he was going with the season Jerma 66. So, I want to see what he does with that. Like maybe he meets up with. Well, they're obviously gonna meet up, and then who knows? We might see Jerma 66 on Egghead.
Ooh, that would be tough.
Because you remember the cover stories tie into the story. So basically, when Kuzan captured Pudding, that's when it ended because we know that Pudding is with Blackbeard Pirates now.
Yep.
And so I'm thinking like maybe it shows like how the German 66 and Caesar meet up with the whole story on their adventure leading up to Egghead. And then he finally ends it when they meet up with the Strides and everything.
Yeah. So and like the cover stories is going on like at the same time of like what's going on like in the chapters, right?
Like around the same time.
Yeah. So that's cool how like he has two separate timelines that are the same timeline but not like the main focus. It's a really clever way, especially for like One Piece. The universe is just so big and that shit's just going on.
You can't write everything out. So put like small details or hints in cover stories.
Yeah. Otherwise, he would be off-screening a lot of things, and there's a lot of stuff he did off-screen.
Right? Yeah.
Aokiji versus Akainu, that was whew. We're probably.
Oh man.
I don't know, man. I don't even want to get into that, bro. That's just the L.
It's annoying. If Luffy's not related, if Luffy's not directly there, or he's not gonna show it.
Yeah, if it's not Luffy, fuck you, basically. So in the beginning, we pan back to Zoro and Brook on the ship. One thing I did notice was Zoro said, the way I see it, when it comes to a government island, you got to think about who's going to be around to bail them out if they get caught. So the reason that stood out to me was basically because, like, alright, so other than the Straw Hats and Bonnie, who the hell is going to invade a government island? And let's not forget the Straw Hats are there by accident, and they ran into Bonnie by accident. But Bonnie's there on purpose by herself, so it's like, What's
Yeah, she went there willingly. My
yeah?
fault. Yeah.
Nah, you good. She definitely went there
Mm.
willingly, and that kind of gets me to think like, all right, so we do know why she's there, but like, is this island dangerous enough to the point where it's like she's bugging for not bringing anybody with her? Because like who's really gonna invade other than like pirates? Like what other pirate crew is gonna invade? You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Who do you think would invade?
Um, like I actually don't know.
I was thinking maybe a Blackbeard's crew. That would be like the only logical thing because I don't even know. They don't even. We don't even know what they have to offer. To
No,
be
I'm saying,
honest.
but Blackbeard, he's after everything, so he could be after technology,
Yeah, technology, or maybe
the
like,
advanced tech.
or maybe taking the devil
Good.
fruit. We'll get into that.
Yeah,
We'll
like
get into that.
yeah, artificial. Yeah.
Yep.
Hmm.
He's gonna get his crew like kitted out, hella loadouts, fucking all that shit.
Buff
Um.
them up to the extremes.
Oh yeah. Just to take a L. Wait, what?
Hmm.
so So we pan back to the ship. They're on the ship, and we notice that Karibo is still on the ship. So
Yeah, I find this weird. It's either he came out willingly or Zoro just sensed him with observation hacking and caught his dumb ass.
that's a, yeah.
Because yeah, he was hiding the whole time. And he said that he was just there so he could drop them off like a safe place or something. And
Right.
then Zoro's like, nah. He was like, well, we're here, so get off the ship.
He basically booted my boy. Well, not my boy, but he booted that man off the ship. Said, "Go ahead, fuck off."
So yeah, so Oda's clearly gonna have Karugu stay there for the rest of the arc. So I'm thinking he's gonna be an ally for the upcoming events.
Yeah. He very
What are
much.
your thoughts on that?
So I think it benefits him the most to be an ally because if he's an enemy, he's just gonna get one tapped by
Yeah, I
anybody
think
on the
Child
ship.
is well anyone who has hockey. So yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Or he could, there's a lot like Oda likes to make characters like they're not necessarily strong, but they do kind of train the Straw Hats in terms of like this man could be a snitch and just give him
Mm-hmm.
up to like freaking who knows who's on this island right now. We just know that it's
That's
the
it.
Vegapunks. So like,
Yeah, so I wonder what Oda's gonna do with him, man.
yeah,
And
definitely.
then we have. Oh, what were you gonna say?
Nah, go ahead, you good.
Yeah. So we've kind of figured this out that Zoro and Brook were gonna stay behind for some kind of reason, like maybe to help the Strats out. But we got like confirmation that that's the only reason why they're staying back in case like Luffy or any of the Strats get captured, they go in and save them.
Yeah,
So I wonder what they're gonna do with that because they're just not gonna stay on the ship the whole time. So
yeah.
something's gonna go south, and then that's when Zoro and Brook have to go in and save them.
You know what I thought? What I'm thinking about?
Mm-hmm.
Remember when they were on Dressrosa and it was Sanji, Nami, and I think Chopper on the ship,
Mm-hmm.
and
And
then
Brook too, yeah, yeah.
in Brook, and then Dofi pulled up.
And
And
Sanji,
Sanji, he went
don't
to go
remind me of
fight.
that,
Yeah,
man.
I know. It's an L on our side,
Yeah.
but
So,
maybe
nah, it's
like
not really. Domingo's a beast.
yeah, Doflamingo is a beast, but
Well, was a beast.
he got put
I
down.
think Sanji's backing him up now, but
Oh yeah,
regardless,
Sanji's definitely backing him up. Fucking but what I'm saying is like, what if like the one of the main antagonists pulls up on the ship, like in just Rosa, and then we see Zoro kind of, go at it, and maybe the same thing kind of happens, like Zoro gets put down a little bit low key, just to show like the Straw Hats do got a longer way to go, and just because they took out a Yonko don't mean nobody else is kind of up there like that. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of characters that are strong could very much so be introduced, or just a lot of technology that kind of fills in the gap of like hockey and stuff.
I actually do like that because we find out later in the chapter. We'll get into that later. That the crew is even though they're a Yonko crew, it's not easy.
It's not easy.
So
Cause
yeah,
like
so we'll see what happens with Zoro. But the Zoro fans are not gonna like that one
yeah,
bit.
they're not gonna like that.
But Zoro's struggling and shit. But
I,
it
would
happens.
I would like to see him struggle for a little bit, just cause it's like, bro, it's end game.
Yeah,
Like,
King. Yeah, like
bro,
King was
like
like his only like struggle fight.
yeah. And then
So that'll be
what you
no,
gonna
I
say?
said it'd be dope to see him like struggle more.
Oh yeah. And then Zoro kicks him off the ship, and then he's kind of a little bit sour about it, but he's not about to do nothing to Zoro or Brook, to be honest.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. So he can complain all he
You
wants.
gotta hold it. Yeah, you gotta hold down.
Yeah.
And then the next part of the chapter, we get into Sanji's group.
Yep.
The
Panel.
Vegapunk, the one we see the first Vegapunk introduced. I think this was
I think Lilith
number
or two.
number
Two.
two. Yeah, being all friendly with them.
Mm-hmm.
They're going up the escalator and everything.
Yep.
And then that leads into, was there any like specific dialogue that we need to focus on?
So basically, it was revealed that the island was powered by fire, and they also spoke about how you can convert its power into any kind of energy. And they were like, "Oh,
Okay, yeah.
doesn't that burn into a lot of natural resources?" And then she didn't really answer that, but she did say, "Is like if only there was such a thing as an eternal flame." Now, so what were you gonna say?
I was gonna go into maybe the Sanji theory,
Yeah,
because remember, I always bring this up all the time, but Judge, Queen, and all of them, they were all part of like the same research group.
yeah,
And Judge, Sanji has the Ifrit Jambe now.
yeah,
So I'm thinking, what if like Sanji gets into a fight later, he uses Ifrit Jambe, and then Vegapunk gets surprised, like maybe that could be the flame that could power up the island even more or something.
yeah. True.
Because Judge was part of the Mavs research team, and then maybe Judge knew about the flames and inherited it into Sanji. Well, not inherited it, but like put it into Sanji.
Yeah, no, that's definitely very much so, and it will go into more Sanji lore, which is always good for us because Sanji's our goat.
Hmm.
So, but also what I was thinking, and it might be pretty far off, but like, okay, so an eternal flame, meaning like it's limitless, it's infinite, no limit or whatever.
No dying out.
Yeah, no dying out. I was thinking of a devil fruit and the meta fruit, Ace's fruit, which is now Sabo's fruit, could technically be eternal because there's no limit. The only limit would be like, stamina. But I'm pretty sure like, well, in terms of like their technology, given like it's so advanced, like they could probably find a way to kind of utilize it on and on. But
Yeah, like how they put like the elephant into a sword ate a elephant devil fruit. I forgot the CP9 leader's name. Expand on.
mm-hmm.
Maybe something like that. They could put the devil fruit into like some
Yep,
kind of technology.
yep, exactly. And then this would also tie into like Sabo being in danger right now. Like we don't know if he's dead or alive, so this could go into that. Not too sure. This was kind of just like a theory that's up in the air. You could call it a hot
Yeah.
take, but it'll be
I'll take
very
the episode.
yeah, it'll be very interesting to see that go down for sure. So now the next part is where
Oh yeah.
this is where they fucked around, and now they about to find out. So
Yep.
so they see
do
little.
not trust anyone.
Hell no, no, don't. Especially the government people. Hell no.
Yeah, come on. I don't know what's wrong with it. Especially, come on, Sanji. You're supposed to be like the leader of the
Yeah,
group right
for
now. You're
real.
supposed to be on the lookout.
Oh yeah. But shit, they go through
Look,
the. What's up?
no, you good. Yeah. No, I was just.
So they go to the metal door, and they walk right through it. And then after all the Straw Hats walk right through it, they're like, "Oh, like Robin's like, we passed through too. No way, it turned back into solid metal again." So obviously, there's more technology being showcased. They just walk through the fucking door. The door didn't even have to open.
Yeah, and did you notice that the Vegapunk number 2 dipped?
Yeah, she was just gone. She was like, what the fuck? She was like, alright, catch y'all. And now it seems like they're into her room. And now we see the other Vegapunk talking, Vegapunk Edison. And then we find this. We finally see another Seraphim after a while, and it's Jinbei. And then I noticed that like in the container, maybe he was in the Seraphim number 4, and he's at 98%. So that tells me obviously there's more Seraphims, that he's number 4, and that he's not completely downloaded or loaded up. So
yeah,
that's interesting.
And we see that hmm, I don't know, like they're going over like the possibilities of like what it could be. And it's weird because Sanjay at least saw King on I know Sanjay at least saw King on Onigashima. He doesn't like mention the wings.
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting. Or the fire, the Lunarian fire,
Yeah,
and
because yeah,
he has white
the wings on the
hair.
fire. Yeah.
White
Well,
hair.
Sanji. I don't think Sanji saw King Unmasked.
Oh yeah, I don't think so. But
Yeah, but we see like they're about to get into it with Jinbei,
hmm
the Seraphim Jinbei. He's pretty much basically just running through all of them, and then Jinbei grabs Nami. Sanji kicks him, sends him flying.
he is
Then
sturdy on him.
Robin, Robin attacks him, and then we see that he. This is where he uses Senior Pink's double fruit, swim no me.
Yeah. So that's very interesting because Frankie points it out. Like I know that. And didn't Frankie fight him in Dressrosa?
Yeah, Frankie Punch. Yep.
So yeah, he knows more than anybody that fruit. So is he dead
Or it's an artificial devil fruit.
or is it artificial fruit? Yeah, that would be crazy.
There's so much with these seraphims that we don't know
Yeah,
about.
bro. Because it's like now it's like they have Lunarian genetics in them now.
Mm.
Well, they
So we
always,
do know. Oh, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, well, nah, I just found out. I don't know if like that was a thing early on.
About the Lunarian.
Yeah,
Yeah, they have the wings, the fire, and white hair.
yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, because we know in Dressrosa that the, Doflamingo's whole family got captured and taken into Impel Down.
Mhm.
So it isn't ruled out that they could have killed Senior Pink. Like, oh yeah, we want that devil fruit, kill him and we'll take it. Or maybe they left Senior Pink alone and they just studied like the devil fruit and made a copy of it.
Yeah,
So that's why it's interesting. Yeah.
but but why go through all that trouble of like just studying him? I'm pretty sure they're gonna resist, and I'm pretty sure he's not rolling alone. So it would make more sense as a villain, kill him and take it, rather than just holding him
hmm
hostage and doing studies. But who
No,
knows?
maybe I'm just coping. I don't want Senior Pink to die, man. I fucking love that character.
Yeah, he was dope. He was dope, but
The whole
who?
backstory of Rishin.
Oh yeah.
But then,
Um,
yeah, we get more into the fight, and then Frankie uses his radical beam, which shakes one of the Dr. Vegapunk's Edison the Thinker.
mhm.
Um, so basically, just to sum it up, he's saying that the kid Seraphims aren't ready for laser beams yet, and then Punk O2 like confirms that the beam would have done like major damage or some kind of damage to it. So, what do you think? Do you think laser beams are Lunarian's weakness, or is it just Seraphim specific?
Um. Hmm. That's a good question because they said like, oh, seraphims aren't ready. So would that mean that seraphims are its own thing plus Lunarian genetics, or are
Yeah,
seraphims Lunarian genetics as a whole? So that's kind of where I'm at with that. But
because yeah.
to
What are you gonna
answer,
say?
I think beams will be a counter to Lunarians as a whole.
Okay, yeah. 'Cause I was getting excited talking about this one because there are theories that whatever weapon what's it Emu used to take out
So
Lelouch,
yeah,
you know how like it was like raining down beams.
yeah.
They're saying that like maybe like that's what wiped out the Lunarian race. So Lunarians could be
Mm,
weak to yeah, you see what I'm saying with that?
yeah, that
Like
would make
Lunarians could be
sense.
weak to like beams or laser beams.
But why laser beams? Why do you think laser beams specifically?
Uh, because I'm thinking like this is just theory, like we have no
Yeah,
idea
with
where it's gonna
theorizing,
go with
yeah,
this. I'm thinking that the beams are so fast that it like or maybe Lunarians aren't actually it's either Lunarians aren't actually durable and the beams are so fast that it bypasses their regen
Mm-hmm.
or the beams are just I don't know. It has something to do with the beam speed. It like pierces their durability.
That's a good take because
Yeah.
doesn't they have to be
But,
aware of
hmm
of the attack to then like kind of block it off. It's like a
Yeah.
switch. So it could be that beams are just that fast. That's like the logical route, and I agree.
Or yeah, like I was saying, maybe they aren't durable, but they have like insane regen, and Oda might go into that. But this is the hot take of this part because I don't think Oda ever said anything about regen, but I'm thinking they just have like super fast regen.
Mm.
They aren't as durable as they say they are. They just have super fast regen, and the beam bypasses it. So I think the beam just being fast enough to pierce the durability makes more sense.
Or
This is the
the laser just does so much of a chunk of damage that like their regen is kind of like is like set back like significantly. So like
yeah.
basically like what you said, but like worded different. And
Yeah, either one of those.
yeah, for sure. But that would be cool because like that means Frankie's gonna get more screen time.
Mm-hmm.
So hey, like I'm all for that.
And remember, this isn't the first time they hyped up Frankie's beam. This is back in Punk Hazard when they were stuck inside the room. Sanji couldn't break the door, but because the door was like it like absorbs physical or shock impact, so
Mm-hmm.
Sanji couldn't break the door. Frankie uses his radical beam. It breaks the door. It doesn't break the door, but it like melts the hinges off the door and sends the door flying. And then Caesar, who is also a scientist by the way, he gets he gets I don't know the word for it. Excited or I want to say excited or like surprised that Frankie's that they had like technology like this. The Straw has had technology like this. So Oda's really hyping up Frankie's being. And then there's another time where Frankie's fighting Queen and he like hints at like maybe Frankie getting a new weapon. Like Queen is like shooting off a barrage of the like I think it's like chapter 10-19 if you want to look that up. So
Okay.
like the beginning of 10-19, Frankie is Sanji's fighting Queen. Frankie is shooting. I said Frankie. Queen is shooting a barrage of light beams, and Sanji's like, if only Frankie would get his hands on this or something. It's like right in the beginning.
Oh, okay. I think I remember
Yeah, you
that
see it?
part. Yeah.
Yeah, the tech to fire lasers again and again. I bet Frankie would love to get his hands on that. Like Otis, like clearly hyping up
Referencing
Frankie's.
Frankie for sure. Also, we don't know exactly the materials that Frankie used for his body. Like we don't really know where it came from. It could be like some materials from like how they just like towards the end, like we'll get into that, but they found that that big ass robot or whatever just broken down maybe, and he's like a repairman, so like he just takes scraps and just puts it on him. So maybe that he could have found some materials from the voice.
Not only that. Remember the pre-time skip. Frankie, when Kuma sends all the straws flying, Frankie goes to Vegapunk's home place.
Mm-hmm.
That's where he got and that. You see,
yeah, nah. Frankie's that guy. Frankie and Sanji, bro. They about to be it.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Before we like move on, if we are gonna move on, we are talking about the how Zoro's gonna like struggle, and it's okay because they aren't like ready yet or anything like
not
that.
ready yet. So like,
yeah, so we see like I was gonna say like we see even Sanji like he does the best against the Seraphim, but he doesn't do any damage. Mind you, he's only using Diablo Jambe. I'm not sure if he's awakened right now, but they're still like struggling to do anything to the Seraphim. So
yeah,
this supposed to be a Yonko crew.
Exactly. A lot of people were complaining about that, but they also got to realize, like, okay, like, yeah, this is Endgame, but at the same time, this is the beginning of Endgame. So, yeah, they took out Kaido and Big Mom. But it's like, okay, like, all right, let's say, like, they weren't struggling against the Seraphim, right? So, who are they going to struggle against? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're going to wait for the last fight to then struggle, but before then, it's just all, like, they're just breezing through these other crews, these Seraphims. Like, no, like, nobody would want to read that. It would be boring. What the fuck? Like, why would I want to read
I just walk through everyone until they fight Shanks and Blackbeard. Like, no.
Yeah, like, nah, like, they're going to have to struggle, and it's good because that means Oda is writing these other enemies good. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if anything, it's good for the debates. like, oh, do you think so and so will be able to take on this Seraphim? And it's like now it's like not even a matter of like power because we know Sanji is stronger than Frankie, but Frankie just has one piece of technology that counters Seraphims. So now it's like a matter
Yeah,
of like,
matchups.
yeah, matchups.
It's always been a thing. Like Luffy
Yeah.
versus Enel,
Yep.
always been a thing since the beginning of the series. Like using water against Crocodile, matchups matters
Exactly.
in One Piece, and it
Exactly.
always will.
So
Mm.
like you said, matchups do matter, and it's like Oda. I'm pretty sure Oda's not gonna be like fucking Frankie's just gonna get a minigun and just start shooting everybody this whole chapter while the Straw Hats just kind of take cover. Like I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure like their technology is gonna get advanced. Hopefully, Usopp gets some technology and he gets a sniper rather than a fucking slingshot. Gets like an actual
yeah,
like laser beam sniper or some shit, and starts
yeah.
getting right. And whoever else, like they just get some technology, even if it's just for this island. Like they definitely need like an enhancement. So what I'm thinking now, my Sanji fan tendencies. I'm thinking Sanji gets a long range attack this island. And it's probably like a laser kick or some tough ass shit, something. Like I think like if everybody's gonna get a buff, like I would like to see Sanji get like a long range attack, because then he'll be like way more versatile rather than just close quarters combat. That's just
Okay,
me.
yeah, I like that idea. It's just it depends on how they do it. Like I
Yeah,
like how Sanji's a
Rinsu
warrior of
Rinsu.
science. I just don't want them to like like have a like a beam or some shit like you know what I mean, like a
Yeah,
gun
I know
blasted
what
on
you
his
mean.
leg or something. But I
Yeah,
want him to, like use his own ability, like
yeah,
actually find a way to use the apple jammer and like shoot a beam out of it or something.
yeah.
So I was thinking with
Diablo
Sanji,
Beam.
like yeah, just real quick, I was thinking maybe for Sanji, because the route I want Sanji to go is like maybe he gets future sight,
Mhm.
because Oda's been focusing on his observation hockey. Well, he hasn't focused on observation hockey, but we know that Sanji specializes in observation hockey.
Yeah.
That's just real quick. I don't want to get too
Nah,
into
you
that
good.
since we're focused on the chapter. Yeah.
Nah, you good. Shit, that's good. That's good. Context. But
Mm-hmm.
definitely would like to see Sanji get a range attack because Luffy got a million range attacks. Zoro got range attacks. Frankie got range attacks. Usopp got range. Now I mean everybody, bro, except Sanji. So it's like, bro, what's going on? Like he got my boy running
but,
in, rushing in to
but
fight. Like what the fuck?
yeah, but Sanji is super fast. To be
Yeah,
fair,
yeah, he is super fast, so he could be in and out. It's just I'm just like an
yeah, it's
elitist.
just something
Yeah,
fun, like brainstorming. I got
yeah.
you. Um,
So what happened after?
well, yeah, I'm about to say
Yeah, cause like
because
we got
listen,
super stuck on that.
we meet the well, we don't get the name yet until like the next page, but we meet the
Vegapunk.
what Vegapunk is this?
Yeah,
I don't
Edison
think we get
number
to a number.
3.
This is number three.
I
Yeah,
think
this is number
number
three.
3. Number 3. Yep.
He
Yep.
basically just looks like number. Oh no, we get introduced to number four, the
Group.
Pirate, the Goras, the Wise,
Yeah. So that's
and
4,
then
and then 3 is Edison.
yeah, and then there's one that we don't get her name yet. She just eating, goes to
Vegapunk
the bathroom.
York 6. She's a 6th one, I believe.
Yeah, okay. What I find interesting about her is that she's like actually eating, using the bathroom.
Yeah.
When I'm thinking they put all of the human traits into this one.
Hers
You
is
know what I mean? Because the
desire.
other
Yeah.
vehicles. I said again.
I'm sorry. So basically, all the Vegapunks like have their own trait, like logic. Um, what else is this? Um, wisdom, fucking flair. Like they all have like traits, and
Yeah,
hers is desire. And it could be like how it says you can't take that instinct out of like a robot or anything in One Piece. Like that's like the
yeah.
narrative. Like
Hmm.
and hers is desire, the desire to be like human like, to have free will type shit. So that's probably why
That's what I'm saying. I
she's
find it interesting that they put all of that into her. So like, you won't see the other Vegapunks like using a bathroom, eating, sleeping, doing all that. They're basically like robots.
yeah,
Her, she's like the most human out of all of them,
hundred
and they put
percent.
all that into her. So I don't know. I find that interesting.
Definitely interesting for sure.
And then we get introduced to Vegapunk number one. I'm thinking he's the most important.
Yeah, for sure. But here,
Mm.
man, what'd you think about that panel? A lot of people were complaining, saying like, "That's not dialogue." This,
Yeah. So I did see that because Oda, everyone has problems with his paneling
Yeah.
because if you, it looks sloppy. But it isn't
It's what
anything
it.
too bad.
Yeah, it's not too crazy. Like it is what it is at the end of the day. Like
Yeah, you still gonna read it, enjoy it, I guess.
yeah, fucking
Especially when you just read like page by page. Like sometimes I'll like if it's because this isn't supposed to be like it's a double page.
mm,
No, I don't even think it's a double
nah,
page.
it's
I
not a
think it's
double page. It just looks like that on the scan.
yeah. So it is how it depends on how you read it.
Yeah. So before we get into this, I did want to talk about how I noticed that Zeus comes out on his command, not Nami's command, because he was like, "Oh, Nami, should I come out now?" And she was like, "No, you're good. Like, not yet." So that's interesting because it's like it's not really her power. Like, it's another ally. Like, he's technically a Straw Hat by affiliation. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, I see what you
Yeah.
mean.
So like that's pretty cool. I like that. Um,
And
and
if she's like in trouble, like he could come out and help her.
yeah, and I think it's really
Yeah,
good
so
for Nami because she wasn't really doing much.
yeah. I wonder why he didn't come out when Jimbe was choking her up.
True.
Maybe he does listen to her commands, but he just wanted to like make sure.
Yeah. Yep.
Because remember,
There you
she told
go.
him not to come out, and
Mhm.
then Jimmy's like choking her out. He's like, "Well, you say you don't want my help,"
He's like,
some
"You
shit like
good then? I guess."
that.
Shit.
And Sanji had to come in.
Yeah, Sanjay had to come and do his thing. You know what I'm saying? But that and then Robin, she seems to like get down and dirty more. Like she's like in Wano, she was fighting, and now she's like not hesitating to fight. There's a
Mm.
lot of I had like an issue where it was like a lot of the Straw Hats weren't really fighting, or they were just doing their own gag, or they would be scared, or they would just back up or be in the background. Now it seems like
Mm.
everyone's not hesitating to fight, which is really good, especially since we're endgame now.
Yeah, and now that you mentioned Robert, I didn't even notice the first time reading. She uses her one of her new attacks that she used on Black Mirror. I said Black Maria, where she makes like a giant clone of herself.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot the Giganto Floor or something. But she goes straight into that attack.
Gigante Fleur,
Attack
yeah,
Jumper.
yeah, that's her
I didn't even notice
stance.
that.
That's just pretty cool, bro.
Hmm.
That's pretty cool.
Imagine if she went into what's the new attack? Demonio Floor.
Yeah, that would be sick.
Uh, I was probably gonna say that for like 1v1s later.
Oh yeah, Sea Serpent. Oh, Robin's pretty
Hmm.
tough, bro. That fruit is pretty tough. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I remember before Jinbei joined. Well, I don't know. I don't want to get too much into Proud Skill, so I'll just keep it at Skype here. When she joined there, she was like the fourth strongest Straw Hat.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, Frankie, Brooke, and Frankie and Brooke joined, and then it's like, who's the strongest out of them right now? And then Jinbei joined. It's like,
Yeah,
he's not
Jinbei
clearly
is
stronger than me. Yeah,
he clears all of them.
yeah,
I think it's Jinbei, then Brooke, then Frankie.
yeah. I think it's just interchangeable.
Yeah, like
That's why I don't want to
matchups.
get into it. Like, I
Yeah,
can't debate it. I don't know,
we'll be here for a minute.
but I know for sure Jinbei is above them. Yeah,
Oh yeah, Jinbei will pack
mm-hmm.
him
Probably
up.
solo
Oh yeah.
them.
Straight fishman karate him and shit. But
Hmm.
also I did notice. Well, we all noticed like the Seraphims are just kids. Like, why are they just kids? Like,
That
why
is a
not create them as adults? Because aren't
yeah.
adults supposed to be stronger? Or does this mean that like the Seraphim? Obviously, we gathered that like they have Lunarian genetics. So like, do they have to get like the genetics from something or
Some growth.
someone? Yeah, like an egg, and then they kind of have to
Mm,
like hatch it, and
like
that's why
so.
it's a kid. So it's like an artificial human. Because the pacifist is like what, like a human mixed with a robot.
Yeah.
So it could be like they get the embryo from something or someone, but who would that be? Because it's like okay, like in terms of like biology, like it would have to be a woman, right?
Mm, not necessarily. If them just making it, if we're going by your theory that they're just making it by eggs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think it necessarily has to be a woman.
That's interesting because then it's like okay, maybe it's Kuma, but then again, would that imply that Kuma is a Lunarian? That he doesn't
No,
have
but
white hair.
yeah, with Kuma though, they use his own. They use I can't explain it. So with Kuma, they just use his body and turn him into a cyborg.
Okay.
That's completely different. They're just making these things from I don't want to like how would they make them like artificially, like from scratch.
That's what I'm saying. Does it,
What I'm
to become a
what I was
Shichibukai,
thinking.
like, do you think like they get like some DNA? Like it's kind of like a contract.
Okay, you know what? Yeah, I like that theory. Like maybe they
Yeah,
just got their DNA, and then that's why they have to grow into they have to grow into like they
like
put the
adults.
Shichibukai DNA.
Yeah, because
Setting. Yeah.
the Jinbei one was at 98%. Maybe that last 2%, maybe he's an adult or like I don't know. Because 98% is damn near done. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
how much could those 2% do, or how much could it like take? But I don't know. I was just like, I don't really know why they're kids. Like that's kind of bothering me because
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
yeah, that's bothering me too. It's like because we see the Kuma that was with the Seraphim Kuma that was with CP0. He's in his adult state.
mm-hmm.
So, but you could argue that they already had Kumas like
He's like
they
the
already have so
final
many
product.
Kuma pacifista clones that they just use. I don't know, man. That's really interesting. Oda has to go over that.
Yeah, you gotta talk about that because he definitely did made them kids for a reason.
Yeah,
Because
because if they if they just said they were kids, I'll be fine with it. But then they go more into it. This chapter is like, oh, they're kids. They can't
still a
take
kid,
a
yeah.
laser yet. Yeah, like they're just kids. Then whatever. Like, but he's clearly like making it a thing that they're gonna grow up and then get stronger as they grow.
Were there any other clones prior to Seraphims that we knew about?
No, all I can think of are pacifists.
Okay, so then that would kind of give it a clear straightaway to like, alright, the way they make clones in the One Piece universe is like with the egg, and then it hatches, and then they grow up, you know. But
Okay.
then that would mean like that would mean they would have to be growing these eggs for years because like let's say like they're 12 or 13, that's still a long ass time, like way before like the straws or whatever.
Mm. I think. Mm, I don't know about that because we know Fujitora started the warlord abolishment. I think it's after Smoker talk. We don't know when Smoker talked to him, but it couldn't have been that long.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, obviously they have good
Yeah,
technology,
this is
so it would
actually a
be
good
like
question.
yeah,
Like I was
it would
stumped.
be
Yeah.
accelerated growth because they got the Lunarian regen. So who knows? It's like endless. But my final like stamp is gonna be it's an egg and they have to hatch it and it grows and they're still like prototypes right now because they're kids.
Hmm.
That's like my final verdict. That's
Okay,
mine.
mine is I like I don't like the egg theory. Well, I like it, but I think they take the DNA from the original warlords
Hmm.
and then they have to grow into the full. I can't see kid Seraphim Mihawk being current Mihawk,
No.
so I'm thinking like they have to grow into it. That's I think yeah I think that's my final stance.
Yeah.
They have the DNA of the warlords. They have to grow into like being actually that strong.
Yeah, it's not a bad take at all. To be honest with
Yeah, I don't know. That that one is
you,
definitely
that's
hard.
gonna bother me one tonight,
Yeah, a
today.
whole order goes over that.
Yeah,
Start
shit.
sleeping thinking about it.
Hell yeah.
How to save from kids.
So, what do you think
Well,
is like endgame for all the Vegapunks? Like, clearly they got ambushed, right? So now the Straws are thinking like, okay, these aren't allies. Like, we're not cool no more. Shit ain't sweet. Like, what do you think is like next? You think they're gonna fight the Vegapunks now?
you said Endgame or currently?
Currently, like, what's gonna be the how do we move on from here? Type shit.
I'm thinking Vegapunk becomes allies. Because remember, he was talking to Dragon, the Vegapunk #1. He was talking to Dragon, I think, last chapter.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think he's completely like tied to the government,
Okay.
the world government.
Okay. or maybe he is in the government, but like he's a part of like Sword or something like that. Because Sword are like the good guys in the government trying to abolish all the corruption. So maybe he's like that.
Yeah, it's something. He's definitely not 100% there with the government.
Definitely not. Like he has his
Maybe
own
just putting up
agenda,
like a facade. Yeah.
like a double agent, maybe a triple agent, because he's with the pirates now, Revolutionary
Mm.
Army, and the government.
And he's about to go over. Uh, did we talk about this yet? Maybe we said it.
What?
I was gonna say he's gonna. I'm not gonna say entirely. I'm not sure where your head's at. I was gonna say maybe because he's gonna go over the void century and stuff.
Okay, now we'll go into that. Shit, I was about to go into that next.
Okay.
So
You must do. No, I was just reading. Let's read the Star Crew. Yeah, so he basically just like has them pinned down. He calls the Seraphim Jinbei off, and then I think Frankie talks about the tech and why it's so futuristic, and then Vegapunk says this place is the past, it isn't the future.
So that's like that gets me thinking, because like, okay, we know One Piece obviously is fiction, right? It's fake, but it's like there's dinosaurs, there's sea monsters. They had a kraken when they were going to Fishman Island. Like they have a lot of creatures that are like of the past of what we know, like dinosaurs. Like they're of the fucking past, right? So it's like, okay, like now they're in that time zone, right? But before, like the void century, like they're in the future. So like, what happened that made the whole world, other than Egg Island, be like lacking in technology? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like.
And, there you go. I'm sorry, I could do it.
It's not. I'm
so excited. The chat.
Nah, you're good. You're good. Because like it seems like One Piece, like they're kind of like back in the day kind of technology. Like they have fucking the Denden Mushis. They're not even. They're just like snails. So it's like their technology. It was always hinting that it wasn't like modern. Definitely not modern. You know what I'm saying? Definitely like, and they're all pirates. Pirates are old, like things of the past. So it's like
we're back in the for us back in the old days.
Oh yeah. So it's like, what happened?
Yeah, well, before I get to like what I think happened, I think I always talk about Oda and his parallels. So instead of like doing some generic shit like they get sent into the future, like back with the Odin flashback, Toki had the power to send you to the past. Like I like how he does shit like that.
Yeah.
Like he's like, every story they go to the future. He's like, this time I'm gonna send them to the past, but Toki's double fruit. And then here we see that they have like futuristic technology in the past, and then the past becomes currently instead of all that futuristic technology, they're gonna have like like you said, the Denden Mushi snails and things like that.
Yeah.
Like sticks. They probably have like I don't know. Maybe in the past they probably had like flying saucers and everything.
Yeah.
Advanced technology. You know what I mean? But what I was gonna say, what I think happened was maybe something that had to do with Joy Boy. We know Joy Boy existed like hundreds of years ago.
Yep.
And my God,
this is like a big.
You know the Straw Hat and Mary Joe, the one that Emu had.
No.
It's I forgot what chapter it is. It's like chapter 900 or something.
Chapter 900.
Real quick. But basically, there's a big ass Straw Hat in Mary Joe. I'm saying Joy Boy is the original
Straw Hat.
Original owner of the hat. Yeah, he's the original owner of the hat. We still have to find the chapter.
Chapter 900.
But what do you think? What do you think is the Void Century?
The Void Century, I definitely think. Obviously, their technology was greater than it is now, but I do think. Okay, so here's what. Just off the top, just like throwing shit at the wall, seeing if it sticks. I think. The government were like the top dogs, right? Like they were like the head of everything, and They had obviously, when we think of the government, like even in real life, like they have technology that we don't even know about, like UFOs, whatever it is. Like they just have higher technology. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Mm.
like, let's say, okay, in One Piece, like their technology was so advanced, right? And they were corrupt. Because they're still corrupt now. So I don't put it past them to be corrupt even back in the day. So they were corrupt, and then that's how pirates came about. Pirates came about. They're like, now we're gonna rebel against the government, and that's kind of where One Piece is currently, like modern time. Like it's fucking like pirates versus the government. So I think at a point like when Joy Boy was there, like he became so fucking broken.
Now, real quick, speaking of Joy Boy, I found the chapter. It's 906 at the end. And it's the
106.
emu, and there's a big ass straw hat
Okay. You put that
right at
in
the
the
end.
in the chat because I well send me the link to the chat.
Um, Give me 1 second.
906. He said. Actually, I can pull it up right here. You good?
Yeah.
906. Right at the end.
Yeah,
Oh, that was his old hat.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. During the
Mm.
Void Century, and then because Luffy has the ability to become like, because his Nika Nika fruit that he
His
can
what fruit?
you could
It's like nah.
Nika Nika like, become like super huge. So I'm thinking like Joy Boy became super huge,
hmm
did something. I don't know, man.
Okay, let me
That
finish
maybe move
because
some islands, but yeah. Finish
so
part. Maybe I could
so
finish this.
Joy Boy became so cracked. He had the Nika Nika fruit, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that fruit, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't it like represent like freedom or something? Like that's how Luffy
Yeah,
interprets it. So freedom, right? So let's say
yeah.
he was so broken that he was able to like kind of fight back the government and like kind of overtake them because of the fruit, right? And exchange
Mm-hmm.
like to do that, like his power was so great and so destructive that it caused the world to restart. Meaning all the technology gets
Mm.
destroyed, everything gets restarted, and maybe that's what the One Piece is. Just like just vanishing. This is like where it takes a turn, right? Maybe the One Piece is
Mm-hmm.
like everything kind of restarts. Like it's so corrupt that like you got to start from scratch, so that way everyone gets freedom, right? Because it's like, no, that wouldn't
Oh,
make
yeah.
sense because
But so that's definitely out there.
that doesn't make sense because Roger had the One Piece and that didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, hmm, I
Yeah,
mean
there's
maybe
so much.
yeah, just so much. But I definitely think Joy Boy was so cracked that like maybe like his power was just like so it just
Because
demolished
remember the
everything. That's why everything was
yeah,
voided.
because the Gorsei was scared of the Nika Nika fruit. Like
Mm-hmm.
they were like expositing like the power to did they say the power to change the world, or did they say something about freedom? I
Liberate,
forgot what chapter it was.
liberate, liberate something. I
So,
know that has to do with.
so the double fruit is definitely one. Well, majority. Well, we don't know Luffy's full capabilities of the fruit for right now, but we know when Joy Boy had it, the government feared it.
Mm-hmm.
Shanks somehow took it, stole it from the CP. Was it the world government, or was it like CP9 or something?
I'm not sure. I think it was CP9. Sorry.
Yeah, they stole it from. Well, just say government since the CP9's
Yeah,
under them.
pretty
Shanks
much.
stole it. I wonder if Shanks was gonna who Shanks was gonna give it to. I know he didn't want to eat it. And that goes into did Roger tell him about the Nika Nika fruit? Because remember, Roger tells him something, but we don't know what it is. In the anime, it's like they
Uh,
muted it, and then in the manga, there's no dialogue. He like tells Shanks something before he goes off to get executed. Do you remember that?
yeah. So do you think Roger had the Nika Nika fruit in his possession at one point, but just didn't eat it because he said his time was too early?
Yeah, because he didn't have a devil fruit.
He didn't. Meaning,
And he does know about Joy Boy through the poneglyphs, I think.
yeah,
Oh god.
yeah. This is a mind fuck. Like, there's so many routes we could take and just so much to talk about.
You know what? Let me talk about what
Yeah,
I'm
go for it, go
look.
for it.
So you see the creature at the that's like slumped down
Mhm.
with the armor around it.
Yeah.
I was thinking of when I saw this, I was thinking about like Onigashima and how big that skull was. It's
Yeah.
basically like an island-sized skull,
Right.
and we know that the race was it said Oars was a continent puller, but
Mhm.
seeing his strength, I don't think he was like he could actually pull continents. I'm thinking whatever creature that was the one who could like pull the continents together, and that's how Wano became how it is now. You
Okay.
see how all the islands were like separated, and now they're all like put together.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like Kuri Udon.
Mhm.
So I'm thinking that creature, these creatures are like descendants of that creature,
Yeah.
and why
I don't put it past them.
Kaido wanted to, yeah, and why Kaido he says he wants to stay in Onig Wano. Yamato tries to kick him out, and then he's like I forget what he said specifically, but basically to sum it up, he says he's not leaving this Wano because it's Wano. That's why he's staying there.
Yeah.
So I wonder what was going on with that. But basically, I'm thinking like these creatures, because they looks like
Yeah.
oars with armor on.
Yep.
So I'm thinking these are descendants of the continent puller.
I agree, 100%. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, what was I gonna say?
Oh, my fault. Yeah,
No, no, you didn't do anything.
that's,
Oh, I remember, I remember. Okay, so like, so I don't know if you agree, but like, okay, so when we're in Wano, it's showcased that like zone fruits are like, they're, I wouldn't say like they're the best, but like zone fruits, like you get a lot of durability. Like you, if devil fruits were to buff you, the ones that give you the most buff would be like the zone, right? Because you got the mythical zone or whatever, and Kaido was trying to farm zone mythicals. You know what I'm saying? So it's
mm-hmm.
like, all right, so
Was it mythicals or like just zones in general?
I think no mythicals
Oh, oh.
for sure. But this doesn't really have much to do with the chapter, but it just has a lot to do with like end game or like dragon. So like
Mm-hmm.
there was a video I saw on a YouTube short, and they were saying like um, dragon dragon could potentially have a devil fruit that is like the descendant of like a dragon god that controls water, wind,
Well,
storm,
yeah.
and all that. And then they go back to like when there was when we saw dragon and there was like lightning and that saved Luffy and
Yeah,
yep,
when you
the
say
wind,
Sabo,
yep, wind when he saved Sabo. So it's like it's looking
has to
like
be a double first. You're not using doing hockey. He's not. That's not hockey.
yeah, that's has to be a double fruit. And it's like right now we're learning that hockey's like the way to go, but what if Kaido's wrong? Like
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily wrong, but not necessarily right. If that makes sense. Because he's talking about hockey's above everything, but this motherfucker got a double for himself. So it's
And
like
his ultimate attack, he used his devil fruit.
exactly. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
devil fruits can be a buff to an extent. I don't think it's better than hockey, but I do think like they bring a lot to the table. Because what if Kaido
Mm-hmm.
didn't have a double fruit? Like, would he be that
Yeah.
durable? Because the dragon scales were durable as fuck. Luffy had to use Ryu to attack him, to hurt him.
Yep.
So, double fruits are like, they're up there, bro. Like, they're definitely not nothing to sleep on. And
And
CP9,
speaking of the, no, sorry, I keep
nah, you're
just
good.
go ahead. You're good.
I do be talking a lot. So, like, CP9,
No, you're good.
CP9, like, when they were fighting, when they were getting ready for, like, the Straw Hats because they declared war, they were like, all right, y'all gotta eat these fruits because we better get right. We better fight. So I was like,
Yep.
Oda did reference like, all right, this crew right now they're eating devil fruits because they're getting ready to fight. So it was like
Mm-hmm.
that implied that devil fruits give an enhancement. So it also did
Yeah, of
imply
course.
that sometimes it's not an enhancement, sometimes it's just ass. Because it's like,
Yep. Like Khalifa,
yep, exactly.
the soap fruit or smooth. I forgot what it was. No, I think it's soap.
Some
I'll be that the
ass
smooth.
ass
Yeah.
shit.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
But when you're talking about devil fruits, that's why I had like something popped in my head. What if um the void century was the beginning? of the where. Yeah, why am I stumbling on my words? Where the void century is where the devil fruits originated from, like the beginning of devil fruits. They didn't just come out of nowhere.
They didn't. You're right. But why then though? Why then, and why would it be voided?
Hmm. This is why this is interesting because once Oda talks about this, it's gonna
It's all gonna
it's
make
gonna blow so
sense.
many minds.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is
this
like
is why the end of this chapter was like the icing on the cake.
100%.
Because this is what One Piece excels at, like world building,
Mhm.
lore, theory crafting,
Oh yeah.
all of it leading into this. Like we've been waiting decades for this, for Oda to like talk about the Void Century, the Ancient Kingdom, like the creatures, the past, like everything.
And it's like everything, like you could literally throw up anything and it could possibly be right, just because it's like everything is just so up in the air and it's so possible. It's just incredible
Hmm
to be honest. Like fucking crazy. One Piece is goaded.
I do want to talk about this more, but it's just I don't know what to say.
Yeah, nah, I feel you. Fucking
Studying the Void Century. Am I missing anything? We talked about Joy Boy. Like, well, let's what did we talk about though? That could possibly be ported to Void Century. Talked about
the
Joy
Nika
Boy.
Nika fruit.
Yeah, talk about
He
Nika
said he
Nika.
can create anything he wants, right? Technically,
Mm-hmm.
so maybe
Well,
the
freedom,
Nika
yeah.
Nika fruit created devil fruits. You think?
Oh no, I don't think that.
That's a reach.
I think just freedom. We talked about the creature at the end of the chapter resembling Oris, and maybe the Onigashima skull being
A descendant.
yeah, well, them being a sending of that.
Mm-hmm.
We talked. I said double fruits already, right?
Yeah.
We talked about Void Century. What else did we talk about? Talked about the creature. I think that's all we. There has to be something else. I think that's it though. But you know, that's all
Yeah.
I had. That's all we had.
Yeah. Definitely. There's just there's just so much things to like. Even we even created like a whole outline. And it's like it's so hard to like stick to it because a lot of things, a lot of doors get opened up just by just natural
Mm-hmm.
conversation, which is
Yeah,
pretty
like
cool.
I didn't even I wasn't even thinking about the devil fruits until you mentioned it. I was like, oh, maybe the devil fruits came from the Void Century or started at the Void Century, and
Hmm.
it just come out of like thin air.
It wouldn't make sense because Vegapunk, he's presumed to know the most, and he's in the one place that has the most to deal with the Void Century.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you could be right. You could be right. You know what else I was thinking? Like, okay, let's say like uh, months go by, maybe like a few years go by, and a lot of things get revealed. We could come back to this podcast and we could see if like our hot takes checked out. That would be really cool. Like something
Oh
we
yeah,
just
that would.
threw out like
Yeah, oh, I
randomly.
remember you said that. Yeah,
Yeah, and then it's
yeah, I
like we
remember
could cite it. We could kind of like clip and be like, "Yeah, I said this shit first."
this.
But
Yeah, that'd
yeah,
be dope.
hell yeah. But
No, but how do you feel about the chapter?
honestly, like before, like today, I was like, nothing really happened. But then, like as I was rereading it and we are taking notes, I was like, damn, there's a lot of stuff we could talk about here. Like shit, and it's like on the surface, it looks like nothing happened, which nothing really did happen. But it's like the things that happen kind of hint to a lot of things that could possibly happen. That makes sense. Like with the
Yeah,
Seraphim
yeah, that makes sense.
4,
Mm-hmm.
98%, the laser beams doing a lot of damage to them. What does this mean for Lunarians? There's just a lot of shit that like you could kind of discuss and kind of go over that is very viable.
Yeah,
I think like
and
there's no such thing as an ass One
I don't know,
Piece
10.
chapter.
What was it? The Kid on Law Awakening chapter. This shit got a lot of hate.
Yeah. I don't even know
But
why, bro. People be hating.
they thought it was random. But I was gonna like, what do you have a rating for the chapter?
I'll give it a 7.
Okay, yeah, but I was gonna say Yes, that sounds fun. Yeah, say, I like how Oda introduced all six of the Vegapunks before talking about that. Like he always does that. Well,
Hmm.
before he goes into like something like deep, he makes sure to introduce everyone in that arc first.
Yep.
So I like how he introduced all six of the Vegapunks before talking about the the past. Yeah, the when they're into the Void Century, he introduced all six of the Vegapunks.
Oh yeah.
Um, I was gonna say I like the Seraphim Jinbei moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got more like he has a. Oh, did we talk? We just forgot to talk about the freaking. He has like water in his like a water bracelet.
Jinbei?
Yeah,
I did not
so he
notice
has
that.
like an unlimited quantity of water. He doesn't have to like go searching for it. He has like a water bracelet or something around his
Oh.
wrist,
What
water wise.
what if there was like a what if there was
Yeah, do you see it?
no, I'm still on the chapter 906 and I'm looking at the cover. Oh, the chapter 1063 the cover. Sorry, I got sidetracked.
Yeah,
What's
it's good. It's when he first gets introduced, when he's sitting on the floor. It the who are you panel.
he's sitting on the floor? Who, Jinbei?
Yeah, and then hey, who are you? And then you're gonna see like a water bracelet or something around his like.
Oh yeah, I see it.
So it looks like I'll talk about this real quick, I guess, before I
Yeah,
give my
yeah,
rating of the chapter.
yeah.
It looks like the all the seraphims are gonna have some, maybe all of them are gonna have some devil fruit and something that helps them in combat. So what I mean by that, it's like so this Jinbei, obviously he's a fishman mixed with Lunarians and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So they gave him that little water bracelet so he can always have water on him to
Yeah.
use in combat.
Yep.
And then maybe Mihawk Seraphim is gonna have
What would he have?
what help it? Yeah, what help in combat?
Agility bracelet or something?
Yeah, I don't know. And then maybe he gets some devil fruit, like maybe a fire devil fruit, that he can like hold his sword and flames. I don't think these guys can use hockey. They're cyborgs. So that's probably the one downfall to the Seraphims.
Do you think they'll be affected by hockey though?
Oh yeah, of course.
Hmm.
Um, nothing much happened. The whole fight with the squad. We got introduced to Vegapunks, the other Vegapunks. Oh, I talked about the York degree being interesting. How she has like the human traits all put into one Vegapunk, like using the bathroom, eating. But the other Vegapunks don't do that.
Right.
And then the end of the chapter. You know what? Yeah, I'll give it a. I think without the ending part, I don't think this chapter. I think this chapter would be like a 7. The ending part makes it a like an 8 out of 10.
Okay, I respect that.
Mm-hmm.
7 a.m. 8. Yeah, I see that 100%. But that's pretty
Chapter
much.
is so good.
I feel like we pretty much discussed everything we could have discussed. I mean, granted, we could sit here and talk for like another hour just on just random shit.
Yeah, I just wish I had more to say about the ending part because that part excited me so much. And when it came down to it, it's like I didn't really know what to.
But definitely
There's so
more
much.
is going to be
Talk about.
revealed like next chapter, and then we could discuss it.
Hopefully, like I hope, like man, now I don't know what I want anymore. Because when I was first reading the chapter, I was like, "Yo, what happened with Long Blackbeard?" And then we see the end of the chapter, it's like, "Oh, never mind, I don't want no Law versus Blackbeard. I want this, like the Void Century."
Shit, I
Yeah,
forgot Law and Blackbeard fighting then.
yeah.
That should be going
I mean, I still want to see it, but it's like,
on. Oh yeah,
I want to get to this first now.
yeah. That's pretty much everything we
Oh,
had.
mhm.
Then we could just wrap it up here. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Let me know what you guys think down below. If you guys agree with our theories, or if you guys have your own theories, be sure to comment down below and just get a conversation popping. And I'll see